So biodynamics, I think the difference between organics and biodynamics, organics is more a general thing about the sprays and the whole thing, but biodynamics, you're really concentrating on the soil. And this is why I enjoy it, because it makes you think about everything you do, absolutely everything you do in the vineyard, you think about it. So you're activating the soil with there's two sprays which I basically use. There's the one is they take a cow horn, they stuff it with manure, they bury it for a certain number of weeks, they pull it out, and this manure has turned to compost, to a very, very concentrated compost, which you spray in tiny homeopathic quantities in the vineyard. And basically that just activates the soil. It creates the animals, the worms, the whole thing, it just activates it. The other one is 501, which is a very finely ground quartz, which you spray into the air, and that activates the light. It reflects light and intensifies the light in the vineyard. And you spray that at certain times during the year. But the 500, which is the horn one, and compost and seeding out. We seed out in September, just after the harvest, or just before the harvest. We seed out about 50 different types of seed. Clovers, peas, mustard, all sorts of things. And they all grow up then during the spring, and then we cut them back. And that way you have different types of, different lengths of root going down into the soil, which breaks open the soil and lets air in and activates it. So the whole combination is just really getting the soils activated. And the main reason I started playing around with biodynamics, because there's a guy in Australia called Julian Castagna in Beechworth in the south of Australia, near Mornington Peninsula, sort of north in the sticks, about 3-hour drive north of Melbourne. And I tasted his Syrah, and we tasted it blind here in Italy, and it just had something, just a little bit more. And it's a tiny difference, but it just had something in the wine compared to a lot of other Syrahs from Australia, just had a touch more. And so I got hold of Julian and we chatted. And the nice thing about the Australians and biodynamics is that they have a practical view. They just say, just do it. Just get out there and do it. Don't worry about the stars and the whole philosophy of the stuff. Just do it and see what happens. And if you think it works, it works. If you don't think it works, then don't do it. And I've seen in a vineyard we got over the hill there, which is very sandy, and we had problems with it during the summer. When it rained, it just drained away. After doing biodynamics now for 3 or 4 years on it, the soil has started to get together and it holds the water better. So my experience is it works. So without going into the whole spiritual thing, which a lot of people go into, it's fun doing it. It gets you back in the soil, gets you back. You actually pick up the soil and smell it to see what it's doing. It's great. It brings us back into the vineyard, which a lot of people around here, they use their enologists who never go in the vineyard, and they rely on their enologists to blend the wine and make a great wine. And that's a little bit what's destroying this area, is the fact that they're making wine for somebody else. They're not making wine for themselves. They're making wine for the journalists, for somebody else, or for the market. Whereas winemakers should make wine for themselves, for what they think should come out of the cellar, rather than producing something that they think somebody else is going to like.